What an electrifying practice that featured huge hits and Caleb's best day of camp so far. What's up, guys? Now, that is what I'm talking about. Bears training camp pads on day 2, and there was some real hitting in this one. An intense padded practice with extreme heat. Football is really back. Today, I'm going to break down everything from today's practice. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First things first, today's practice was just different. The intensity was really ramped up, pads were on, players were delivering some huge hits. Ben Johnson was yelling at players, and there was even more explosive plays on offense. First, let's quickly do an injury update, and then I'll get into details on today's practice. After making his debut at training camp yesterday, Luther Burden today got to participate in team drills. Ben Johnson talked about him being a little bit behind, but he's ramping up and showing his talent already in practice. Yesterday, all he did was individual work on the sides, but today he was full go in pads, and he made his debut in team drills. He made a couple of exciting plays, but he was also pulled off the field by Ben Johnson at one point for an alignment issue pre-snap. Ben Johnson seemed heated on the sideline. Our new head coach has seen enough of these alignment issues and pre-snap penalties, and he's holding players accountable and not letting little things slide. Burden got back into the action shortly after, and he did make a few plays. He was also hit hard once by Noah Sewell on a reception. Maybe the defense's way of welcoming Luther to camp. Good to see him getting reps in team drills. The biggest injury news is that Shamar Turner could be out roughly a month with his ankle injury, a significant setback for our third pick in round 2 this year. He suffered an injury to his ankle this weekend, and it looks like he will miss the rest of camp and possibly longer. This means Turner will most likely not get any snaps in preseason. This is a significant setback that will make it harder for Turner to make an impact during his rookie season. For the Bears, I do believe we can afford to bring him along slowly. We have depth at the position. Not only do we have Grady Jarrett, Jervon Dexter, and Andrew Billings, but also the guys battling at the bottom of the roster like Jonathan Ford, Chris Williams, and Zach Pickens all have talent as well. In other injury news, Doug Kramer returned to practice today, but even more good news as pass rusher Tano Passanio, the guy who was carted off the field yesterday, he also returned to practice today. I know some fans in the comments did not understand carting a guy off the field when he injured his wrist, but sometimes teams like to be cautious in camp. But I remember on the other side of the spectrum there that Trevor Lawrence suffered a knee injury once, and he refused to be carted off the field and walked himself to the locker room. So it's very different with every team, but I hadn't seen anything like that in Bears camp previously. The good news is that both guys were back at practice today. Now let's go ahead and talk about today's practice. The offense seems to be getting more and more comfortable, and there were more deep shots attempted today than in previous practices, starting the day off right. We've also seen more design pressures and exotic looks from Dennis Allen's defense, making this a very intense and competitive camp early on, especially once the pads came on. The day started out with a boom when TJ Edwards would lay out Roschon Johnson in the flat, signaling to fans that this was going to be a fun practice. And then afterwards, the offense got rolling as Caleb Williams completed passes to both DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. He also threw a beautiful deep ball that would have been a touchdown, but Kyler Gordon tackled the receiver early, a clear pass interference on the play. Don't worry about Kyler Gordon, though. He came back and had a couple of big plays, breaking up a pass and blowing up a screenplay. There was another big hit by defensive tackle Chris Williams as he smashed rookie running back Kyle Monungai. Noah Sewell and Jaquan Brisker also had a couple of physical plays as well. One rep that really caught my eye was Dominique Robinson, who continues getting reps with the first team. He bulldozed right through rookie Colston Loveland on one rep, knocking him to the ground. And in the trenches, both Montez Sweat and Jervon Dexter would get into the backfield and create some pressures. Caleb would do a good job, though, stepping up in the pocket and delivering some big throws today. Honestly, the pocket stayed pretty clean for the most part, and it might be one of the reasons why the coaches have had to design some pressures. But it's easy for fans to see the improvement on this offensive line. They held up really well for the most part. Usually, once the pads come on at training camp, our quarterbacks are under a ton of duress. But today, the O line looked stout and had a very solid day. It's hard to block some of these pass rushers. Guys like Grady Jarrett and Montez Sweat are a handful on their own. But the talent on this O line has been dramatically upgraded, and anyone who's watched Bears games or went to camp the last few years can see an immediate difference. I noticed a few reps where Braxton Jones had one on one battles with newcomer Deo Odangbo, and he seemed more powerful than he's been in the past. Good news for Braxton Jones. We'll probably learn more next week when Braxton gets to go against the Dolphins pass rushers. But when it comes to the left tackle position, I believe there was an interesting development in today's practice. It was Ozzy Trapilo who got the majority of the reps on the left side. Karan was working at right tackle with the second team a bit, and Braxton was running with the twos at left tackle. Both guys did get reps at left tackle. It's still a three-man rotation, but this was interesting, as Ozzy was first up yesterday and he got the most reps, but the split was a little bit more even. Today, Ozzy might have got more reps than Karan and Braxton combined. Could he really be pulling away after just two padded practices? He won multiple reps and shut down Deo Odangbo for most of the day, although he did lose one rep and give up a sack. Some of the best battles were right there at left guard, where Joe Tooney and Grady Jarrett went to war. Those two additions to this roster really upgrade our trenches, but the center quarterback exchange also seemed noticeably more smooth today. Although there was a really high snap from shotgun formation where Caleb had to reach up and grab the ball above his head, but this was easily Caleb Williams' best practice of training camp. He was getting the offense lined up correctly. He was making some changes at the line of scrimmage, and he seemed to have more control over the pre snap alignment issues that have slowed down this offense early in camp. He seemed to have a lot of control of this offense today. He was also dialed in from an accuracy standpoint as well, lacing a couple of frozen ropes in tight coverage and looking efficient on his deep shots as well. His two favorite targets so far in camp are easily DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, as Ben Johnson is dialing up plays for both of our top wideouts. Another guy who really impressed the last 2 days was Colston Loveland, who's looking like he could be a big part of this offense even in his rookie year. That's usually to be expected from top 10 picks, but most people expected Loveland to be eased into the action. He could get more opportunities than most people think. He's so fast for his size and he gets open with ease. And when it comes to the weapons on this offense, Ben Johnson said it himself that DJ Moore is the top guy, and he's looking for more ways to get the ball in his hands. That includes some manufactured touches, and he's even getting more reps out of the backfield. Caleb also got rid of the ball quicker today, and he easily had his best practice of camp. Obviously, he wasn't perfect, but you can tell his footwork looks cleaner, and he's looking to get the ball into the hands of the playmakers around him. At USC, Caleb didn't have a lot of playmakers around him. He was often asked to do it all himself. Ben Johnson is coaching that out of him to some extent, and he can still be Superman at times. He doesn't have to do it on every play. And this offense is filled with playmakers all around him. Sometimes Caleb just needs to take what the defense gives him and get the ball into the hands of the talent surrounding him. He did a great job of that today, but he also used his ability to extend plays and make some big time throws. These are the kind of practices that fans look forward to, and hopefully this offense can stack more days like this going forward. But to me, it's huge that our offense seemed to step up once the pads come on. Usually it's the other way around, and our defense wins these battles. Although the defense did end the day very strong, Kyler Gordon and Montez Sweat both blew up plays, and Sweat could be heard yelling coming off the field. He was amped up. The biggest reason for excitement heading into this year, though, are Ben Johnson's creativity as a play caller and the talent surrounding Caleb Williams. This offense should be both dynamic and explosive, something we're simply not used to seeing in Chicago. These last 2 days of practice both showed signs of an offense that is ready to explode in 2025. Right now, it's just one day at a time, and the coaches are focused on eliminating these pre snap penalties and getting the procedure right. but every day they're getting better and better, and you can actually see the results these coaches are getting. I, for one, cannot wait to see it on game day. That wraps up another day of training camp practice. Let me know in the comments how you guys are feeling. Please remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned. And until next time, bear down.